Welcome back to A Whole New Pod, a podcast all about Disney Channel original movies. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob Telejohn.
And I'm your other host, Lucas Melby.
Is that what I sound like?
I don't even know how to I don't even know how to copy your voice.
We're coming out of the blocks wild and crazy this time around. We like to have fun here at A Whole New Pod.
Absolutely.
If you didn't pick up on it because you don't listen to our show, or you're that crazy YouTube commenter that thinks we're both the same person, I'm actually Lucas Melby, but this is still A Whole New Pod. And Jacob is looking at his phone.
I mean, I'm actually Jacob Telejohn.
We've taken a week off, and
Melby.
we're thrown for a loop.
We're just out of it. We're starting from scratch from the very first episode.
We're set adrift. We took the Thanksgiving holiday off for us to enjoy it. So happy Thanksgiving to our American listeners, related, and to everybody else. I hope it was a good Thursday. We almost didn't make it this week because Jacob's like, oh my god, I was on vacation for 9 days, now I gotta work. Oh, dude, this week is so tiring.
It was rough going back. I'm not gonna lie. It was being on the feet and having to lift, heavier boxes and stuff like all day. It's just like that.
This is our relatable comedy section. Bosses, am I right? And for our younger listeners, parents, get off my back. I mean, homework, more like home doesn't work.
Don't work.
Because my parents fight all the time.
Woof.
The world, huh? But we're still moving through it. Mulan is on Disney Plus. That's the big Disney news.
Mulan, yeah.
The Mandalorian is happening, and I'm liking this season a lot more.
I never watched the first season, and I am not sure if I probably should. I kind of want to watch it.
Okay.
I kind of do.
You have access to my account.
I do. I think I still have it. If not, I can get it. But
the thing that hasn't changed, though, is we're still watching Disney Channel original movies, and they're still of generally middling quality. So you could say that after that rocky start, we're right on track
oh no.
for this episode.
Oh no.
Why did you react like that, Jacob?
I appreciated that pun because we watched Right on Track.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even know if it counts as a pun, because it's so on the nose, but I think it was
That was a pun, absolutely. But
so yes. Oh,
we
go ahead.
sound like depressed and bummed, because if we really enjoy a movie, we come out like hot, probably like laughing about the movie, kind of just chitting and chatting about it before we actually get into it. But there's not really much to chit and chat about this, other than Randy. Just a little
let's
for Randy.
Wave the flag now. Let's get this started.
Yeah.
So it being, well, I guess maybe not clear from the title, but if you watch Disney Channel original movies, you should know that a name like Ready to Run, Ready to Track should be about
horses,
cross-country racing.
Or cross-country.
No, it is about drag racing.
Yeah.
Just like Ready to Run is obviously about horse racing, and Horse Sense is about horses, but not horse racing. So this being a racing movie, the first shot we get is a checkered flag, black and white, but it's not what you think, because it's actually on a garage door. And it's smooth. It's smooth and open. And we see our main character, Erica
Enders,
who is young. We're not quite sure how old she is, but she is the youngest she is in this movie.
Yes.
And she's in there with her dad, who is, I think, a racer?
Yeah, I think we saw some clips, or we saw some of his trophies.
And she is inspired to race by him, but then he just seems to never race.
This is all based on true people.
Yep, that's what we get. We get the little title card with that very shortly, that this is based on Erica and Courtney Enders.
Yes, and what was interesting,
true life story,
too, is like a lot of these movies seem to get right after the real events happen, they seem to get flipped into like movies quick, because at the very end they mentioned when this movie was like 2003, right?
Yes, and then fast forward to the end of the movie.
Yeah, they mentioned like 2001, like when they were winning all of these races.
The Enders sisters did 9/11.
Oh no.
But yeah, this is
just like 2 years after it's all happened.
Fast forward to the end of the movie, the little blurbs we get at the end to talk about them. It's like they are still actively racing.
Yes.
And they are not really that much older than how they are portrayed in this movie.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see some similarities already to another DCOM, Double Teamed, that we watched not even that long ago, which was a true story about two sisters playing a sport.
Yeah.
And that was also directed by the director of this movie, Dwayne Dunham.
Dwayne Daddy Dunham, they call him.
I'll get into a little bit more about him in short. Well, actually, yeah, a very short period of time.
In short.
Actually, yeah, we do see the dad race because we get a juxtaposition of daddy racing,
yes.
and then Erica back home is racing on her bike against some boys in the neighborhood. And she's on training wheels, but she's riding so fast that the training wheels
they fall right off. Yeah, like
and she flies, and she's right in front of the moon. And
wow, like
she
the
goes
cow.
home.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I was going for. Was the cow.
The cow jumped over the moon.
And then we get
away with the fiddle.
4 years later title card.
No, it was like 7.
And this is not even the final time jump in the movie.
Oh, no. Was it 4 and then a 7?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that 4.
So we see middle-aged.
Yeah.
Maybe like, so the first one we would have to guess she's like
5.
4? Maybe?
Yeah, really young.
So then we see her at 8, and then we'll see 7 years later where she's like in high school. So Erica is arguing with her mom about wanting to go into a junior drag race competition.
Yeah.
And the mom is all like, it's dangerous. But the dad says, I wouldn't let her do something if it was dangerous, right? Which comes into play later on in the movie. And come on, Mom. You should know, especially if your husband's a racer, that surely there's been an accident at some race you've been at.
Yes.
But she gets really excited at the track when she's racing, and we get a character who is credited as just Father. Who pops up to say, in a very, like, kind of the mean dad in Miracle in Lane 2.
Yes, exactly what I thought of.
Greasy white trash boy, but like, you letting a girl race on there?
A little girl.
And that will not be the only bit of girls sucks
little girl
talk we have in this.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes away for a little while.
They were like really threw a bunch of it at us at like coming up here.
And she has her dragster is Pink, one of her
little girl
competitors is like, I don't want to lose to a girl. And
what I really liked about that the father of the child that made that remark is he just said, just do your best. You know, he wasn't like that other dad. He wasn't saying, I'm going to disown your sorry ass if you lose to that woman, that female. So just go do your best, son. That's all he said.
And at this point, I'll bring in another movie that Dwayne Dunham directed, which was Ready to Run. For those who don't know, it is the worst Disney Channel original movie ever made. Oof. And something I think we brought up when we were watching it that we thought was going to be the way the movie went was, horse jockeying isn't a sport for girls. But no, it was your mom. I don't even remember if it was the mom or dad. I think it was the dad. Your dad died in a horrible horse jockey accident, and that's why you can't horse race. Not that like, you're a girl and you can't. And I feel like that would have been a more relatable, fun message for that movie.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like this is bringing in elements of Ready to Run that should have been there, mixed with the sister true life story that was in Double Teamed. So this movie really just feels like, and there's even like elements of motocross because they're just living at the tracks all the time out of a trailer. So it just feels like I've seen this movie before, and hopefully we start to get out of some of that. This is just a bunch of Disney Channel tropes thrown into one movie. And my eyes definitely kind of glazed over in different parts. Yeah, they're really hitting home the girl stuff.
Is this when they mentioned the Eric?
Yes.
Yeah. They announced.
Overhead announcer.
Yeah, and he just thought it was,
here comes out Eric.
And then the mother's like, Erica. And then
I didn't think a girl could race.
Yeah, they were like, the announcer was kind of just chatting with the boys. And then he's like, correction. Erica Enders.
So then the race ends, and I believe she wins?
She wins.
And then they go over and admire some trophies that I think are for, I don't know, higher age levels.
Well, yeah, because that one trophy they look at is the one for the big championship.
She gets at the end.
Well, I was going to say that, but it's the trophy from the picture for the movie itself.
The DCOM splash image.
Yes,
but then, after they look at the trophies, we get 7 years later.
Yeah.
Which is wild. This is about the first 10 minutes of the movie, and we've already jumped 11 years. That's fine.
That's fine. It's okay.
It would be fine if we actually came into later parts of this movie feeling like we kind of knew the characters that well, but we really don't.
Yeah.
It's just, she wants to race as a kid, but we start to get hit with some pretty dramatic stuff in the early parts of this movie.
Agreed.
So now we see Courtney, her little sister, who we saw in one other scene eating ice cream, but now she is played by Brie Larson.
Yes.
Who
really has a minor, not a minor, but a minor role.
Yeah, she disappears for large periods of the movie.
I had mentioned Randy before this all started. He's in the movie he's definitely in the movie more than I think she is.
So, if you don't know who Brie Larson is, I think we've said this a couple times, but she's probably the biggest star. I mean, she's
DCOM.
I assume Captain Marvel made over $1 billion. I don't know.
Zac Efron.
We have not seen him yet.
That's fair.
And I would say if
Spencer Breslin.
Basically, I feel like, especially in the dystopian movie landscape that exists today, where to be a big movie star, you have to be in a Marvel movie. So she's been in a Marvel movie, but she's also an Oscar-winning actress for Room. So she is a real deal.
Yeah.
But she is not necessarily a real deal in this movie.
No, she's just kind of like, she's like more comedic relief.
She's not like a bad actress in this. She's just not in it.
Like a goofy young sister who's also good at racing.
Yes. They're fake driving in the garage, doing the zoom with the dragsters.
Yeah.
And now it's time for another race. That is, the pacing of this movie is a lot of just something happens and now we're back at the tracks.
And we get a lot of 8-second clips of races too throughout the whole movie. They just kind of just splash them in there.
I mean, because that's how long drag races are. We'll see later on them timing out actual races, and they are like 9 seconds long.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of them. So we get more misogynistic comments here, especially because she loses this race, and people are essentially just like, oh yeah, you lost because girls suck.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But it kind of dies down for a little after this.
Yeah.
She's at home, Erica that is. I kind of got confused between Erica and Courtney in my notes, which is, I don't know, usually I have no trouble tracking characters, but I don't know, I was getting confused this time.
Erica's the driver, Courtney just does nothing.
So she's practicing on some kind of countdown clock where...
Yes, Erica is.
Yeah,
yes.
when she would realistically hit her gas, she'd press the go in Mario Kart. And it's like yellow lights going down to green.
Yes, and this is kind of a foreshadowing to an event that happens later in the movie, where, like, she perfects this thing so well that, like, she's accused of cheating.
But right now, she's struggling to lower her time, and Courtney hops on. She does one time, and she beats Erica's time.
I was doing this all day, and I was struggling to get to 0.58 or whatever.
So we're kind of seeing that, it seems that Courtney has just this really innate racing ability.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be more of a focus of this movie, because like in Double Teamed, the sister dynamic, and it was more direct in that because they were twins on the same team, but I thought the sister rivalry was going to be larger.
I don't know why it just focused more on the older one.
Basically, it's like here, there's another comment in like a half hour, and then a little bit after they forget it for a while.
I mean, they could have done like Double Team 2 and focus on both. I mean, granted, they were on the same team, whatever, and all that, but I mean, at the end of the movie, they say, how many trophies each of them won, and they both won, like, a lot of trophies or events or whatever races. I don't know why they didn't focus on Courtney more.
They only had 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, but there was a lot of skating, too, that happened they could have cut out.
Well, I would like more.
More Randy.
Already are getting a way too dramatic conversation between Erica and her mom. Because, as I said, we've gotten those flashbacks, but that doesn't really build up a character for us to feel what their motivation is, except, she's a little girl. Oh, I want to be like my dad. I want to race.
And the mom's really not in this movie a lot either.
And this is where the mom, she's like, Erica, I'm fine with you losing, but when you get so upset at yourself like this, is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Is it worth all of this?
The
and then
pain,
Erica says,
the suffering.
It's where I belong. People must think I'm so weird because all I care about is racing. But it's like what I've been born to do.
Bread.
We haven't even seen any characters outside of the family in this movie. No. So we can't even be like, oh, kids are making fun of her for racing. they do. It's kind of weird, but this is just, it felt so forced and unnecessary 100%. For how early on we were in the movie.
The people really don't care that she races. In fact, they kind of commend her ability with cars and like in, mechanical, knowledge and stuff like that later on.
And then Courtney, in some other conversation with Erica, is talking about how she's really excited to race because there's an age gap between them. So she's not quite at racing age, but then she is. It's a little unclear, but she mentions, I'd love to race you, Erica. And Erica is kind of like, I wouldn't want to race you because I don't want to worry about I'd feel bad beating a kid. And then, so again, it felt like it was going to be more about the rivalry between the sisters. Yeah. But it kind of
that would have been a better route than some. I don't even remember who the guy she had it wasn't even like a beef, but the father.
He's coming up shortly.
Okay,
because he's got a very funny name.
Yes.
And then in French class, which is the only class Erica has.
It's the only,
we have multiple cuts.
Like 5 or 6 scenes in the French class.
It could be a solely French taught school language. Like all the subjects are taught in
Who
French.
knows?
But we get a hilarious note that's passed to Erica from her friend who I never learned the name of.
Oh, no.
And she's like, hey, in the note, party at my house, lots of chocolate, plus hot boys.
Oh, no.
And we never see what that party is.
No, we never see the party. The Disney parties are always the best kind of parties.
Well, and lots of chocolate. What does that even mean?
Oh, no.
Are we saying the heart-shaped boxes are like Christmas chocolates where there's lots of different kinds. A fondue or a chocolate fountain.
Oh my
hot
goodness.
Chocolate. Is Augustus Gloop there? Does he come with the chocolate river?
Why is chocolate? It's like underlined.
How hot are these boys? Are they melting the chocolate?
No.
It's one of those things. This is
They teased us.
Cadet Kelly inviting her friend over for dinner scene of this movie. If this scene was shown in this movie, it would have been a much better movie.
Yes.
So unfortunately, we assume she can't go because she races seemingly every single weekend. Yes.
She can never do anything because she races. That's pretty much the moral of the story.
So speaking of that, we do see Courtney in a race because she's racing now, even though it seemed like she wasn't of age or whatever. And
she wins.
She beats a record of Erica's.
Yeah.
I guess probably for the age. I don't know. Erica's really pissed about this, though.
Yeah.
And then she's venting to her friend Randy.
Randy, the goat.
The only good character in this movie.
Yeah, and he's an Asian kind of chubby dude.
Yeah.
With glasses.
He's immediately likable.
Yes. He's the comedic relief. And they know that. The movie knows it. The director, they use him a lot.
He's the goat.
He is.
He saves this movie.
I'm trying to who is another character like this in past DCOMs we've watched? I was trying. I know
Gilbert. And Under Wraps. Okay. And also Can of Worms.
Yeah. There's definitely been a character or two like this in past DCOMs.
The weird little brother in 'Twas the Night.
Okay.
But you kind of were like, is he okay?
I remember that.
But he's the mechanic.
But he's like their
dad,
age. Maybe he's not their age, though. I don't know. Who knows?
He at least is of an appropriate age to go on a fake date with Erica later on. So you would think he's their age, but also, what is he getting out of this? Because he's devoting all of his weekends.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's really are
they paying him?
A track for college mechanic racing? Or what's his end game? But he's a nice guy.
A date. He's
too
fun.
nice
he's
of
cool.
a guy. But as Erica's venting to him about Courtney, he's like, yeah, well, obviously she'd be so good because you taught her and she's had that head start from having you be such a good teacher.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you're so awesome. Maybe I gotta help you get a girlfriend. And he's like, bitch, where's your boyfriend? And she's like, Randy, stop. And then he sees, I don't know, some cute racer girl who I thought was also going to come into play, but no, because the real rival is Jordy Nolte.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
I don't. Yeah, that sounds right. Nolte kind of sounds right.
But he's not there quite yet because we have to follow the pacing of this movie, which is track scene, Then
Yes.
school scene. So
Yes.
at school, we see what I thought was in gym class, but then it turns out she's on the volleyball team.
Yes.
Which I don't know how she has time for both of those.
No.
But she's on the volleyball team, and some popular girls are making fun of her for being a drag racer.
Yes, that was like the only time. They were saying
They're
that
like, what are
she's
you
not
going to do?
Well,
Drive?
She was saying that they were saying that she is not an athlete because all she
Before
does
that, they
is
make the
drive.
hilarious comment of, hey, do you chew tobacco too?
Oh, I missed that line.
Because of the inherent nature of racing kind of being a white trash
redneck
sport, or at least the fans are.
Yeah.
As we saw with the dad at the beginning of the movie. He's like, hey, you can't be a girl on my track.
Yeah.
He might have, had a spittoon by him while he was saying that. But yeah, they call her out and say, what, drag racing isn't a sport.
And she gets very defensive, and she says, well, yeah, doing this, that, whatever, gotta have the stamina, gotta have the mindset.
Somebody could die if I fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Foreshadowing? Not quite. But Erica, in this situation, I don't like her. I think she's coming off like a jerk. The popular girls, they're not nice either.
No,
but Erica, I don't think
snooty.
is a very likable main character.
I don't think she's unlikable the whole movie.
She is kind of an obnoxious bit in a little short order.
Okay.
She's talking to her dad about sponsorships because she is unsponsored, unlike a lot of people in her age group. And it probably comes down to that she's a girl. That's what Erica says, and it tracks that's probably the case.
But, for modern marketing, they'd be all over that. She'd be the only one with the sponsorships.
Yeah, and especially...
So I don't know
at
why...
At the end of the movie, they say, at least at this time, that a quarter of the girls in the junior drag race...
Or
a quarter of the racers in the junior drag race were girls. Could that have been related to her influence?
Yeah. I would.
They don't connect the dots, but they maybe leave it up to us to draw the conclusion.
I would guess that.
But yes,
sure.
they're not beating down her door to sell internet domains.
Yes,
that might be a little inappropriate for. However, she takes her driver's test, so she must be 16.
16 minimum.
But she's played by like a 20-something-year-old. So
yes,
it's okay, GoDaddy.
Oh no.
So then, this is really funny.
Shut up,
what
Dustin
comes later
Lamach.
on in this movie. But during a volleyball practice, she hurts her arm because she's going for, I don't know,
a spike
a dig or
whatever
to get the ball.
And it's like a little scrape, but
she crashes into a volleyball cart.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I can't show it to my parents because they won't let me race this weekend.
Yeah.
And the mom is in her room tucking her in at 16 years old, which... Hey, I don't know if my parents ever really did that. The movie thing of sneaking up on your child to turn off their light when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
But if they did that when I was 16, I mean, if it's anything the way I am now, where anybody comes to my room in the middle of the night and I
smack
go, what are you doing?
You do that? That's happened?
I don't hit anybody, but I just immediately get defensive.
You
what the fuck are you doing?
Oh my god.
Well, that comes from the fact that I wake up about 3 times every night at least.
But do you do that?
And see my sweatshirt hanging on my door, and at least
think
half
it's a
the time
person?
think it's a person.
Oh no. And you do that every time you wake up. Who the fuck are you?
I have very poor sleep.
Oh my god. That sounds terrifying.
But the mom sees, her arms hurt, and she's saying she's being pushed too hard. She's worried about sponsorships, and Dad, just like, it's okay. She's got talent. She's got the goods.
Raw talent. Raw.
So then we get the last bit of misogyny we'll have for probably at least a half hour, because we're at a race again. And this is where Jordy McNulty or whatever the hell his name is, her rival, is there.
Yeah.
And he's saying something like, hey, girls suck. That's about my notes for all of this stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. He never gave me, a douche vibe, the whole movie. I don't think he was...
He had some interview segments where he just came off...
Oh, he mentioned just guys.
Comes off cocky.
Yeah, he said, there's a lot of guys that I need to compete against or something.
And then she yells to
Randy.
Guys!
And
I'm not one of the guys!
Have we missed any, goat Randy moments? I feel like there's had to have been one or two already.
So. I think I noted most of them.
Okay.
Sometimes we see him on the sidelines, chest
cheering,
bumping the dad,
chest bumps,
doing some cool handshakes and dances.
Yes.
So then, I think they race, or she just races and gets a better time than Jordy.
Yeah. They don't race each other. This is
Okay, so yeah.
I don't know. I think it's qualifying. So when they race,
like a lot of these sports-centric DCOMs, they
don't
do
explain
not
it.
do a good job of setting up the rules or anything.
So when they race, they go up against somebody else, but to get in that race, they need to qualify. And when they qualify, it's only them on the drag strip or whatever.
Yeah, so she gets a better time than him.
Yes.
And quite honestly, this could be a different DCOM where I think in Miracle in Lane 2, it felt like there was going to be a rival. And then they just weren't in most of the movie.
They
so I thought Jordy maybe would have gotten dropped. He kind of disappears for most of the movie, but he does come back at the end.
At the very end. So they play him up like he's maybe the best in the sport at the time or something, maybe.
But since she beat his time, she rolls up in a golf cart with her dad and Randy in the back, and then she just gloats and says, "Oh, girl beat you, ha!" And she's
girl power.
Still pretty obnoxious.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Dad gets really upset. Right before Dad blows up at her, Randy immediately gets off the golf cart and leaves. And then the dad's just like, "Hey, you're a sore winner. You're stooping down to his level. Blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
And again, this is way too serious of a thing because this dad is like legit mad, and this is way too serious for this movie and for what's happened so far.
I would agree.
I just say in my notes, I'm a little confused right here. The two race and Erica loses. So I think maybe then she races Jordy and then she loses to him after she gloated a bunch. So like maybe this was like its self-contained competition so that they went up against
the sisters haven't raced each other. That happens later, yeah.
So I assume that she lost to Jordy.
And I don't even remember that.
There's so many races.
There are a lot of races, and I don't know.
So in my notes here, this is where I spell out the structure of this movie very clearly, where it is school scene, race scene, school scene, race scene.
Well, and by school, you just mean French class. French
class or volleyball.
Yes.
But never back-to-back.
True.
So then at another race, Erica's being scouted for a potential sponsorship from
Pennzoil.
Pennzoil,
which is a real company.
It is. Did she really get a sponsorship? Who knows?
She did. Well, at least they sponsored the movie.
But we get the most dramatic scene yet because she finishes the race, but she can't stop her dragster.
Oh, and also with that Pennzoil deal, she also got her sister, I believe, a deal too. Like she's like, I will not do the sponsorship.
Well, that hasn't happened.
Oh, it hasn't? Oh.
We're in the drama of
it. God.
She doesn't get the sponsorship at first because she crashes her fucking dragster.
It's true.
Because she can't
stop it. And these aren't... See, and I thought these are the dragsters that usually use the chutes, but we never see them once.
We never see it. And that's like the only cool part about dragsters.
So I don't know why that is. Maybe for like youth, they don't get up to like a certain speed. Maybe they just never showed
the parachutes because then it would make this scene not make any sense. Because at the very least, you drop that chute, you're going to slow down. You might still keep going, but yeah. So she crashes into a gate. Yeah. And she ends up getting airlifted out of there.
And that's a $30,000 bill right there. She's got to win some races.
That's fucked up, man. So,
I mean, especially considering she's not really like that hurt.
Well, they put her on oxygen.
She's really not that hurt.
But this is high drama. Yeah. But she's fine.
A lot.
They cut to the hospital.
Honestly, she's fine.
Mom gets mad at Dad because, what? You said this wasn't dangerous, which I think is on the mom. Like, drag racing.
You gotta know the risk. Like, come on.
There's definite risk.
Come on, woman. Come on, Mom.
I mean, there's risk in a lot of sports, but I'd say drag racing is pretty clearly there.
Oh, 100%.
But she's got like a, I don't even know if it's a light concussion. They're like, she's fine.
Mild neck sprain, maybe.
Yeah, so then we were back at the track, and I just have the question of, like, do they live here? Because they're at the track more than their own house. They do have a trailer, which is pretty nice. Yes. But it just feels like they're always there. And she wants to get back in her car to then just go for a practice run. And I'm like, okay. And then there's really dramatic acoustic guitar music playing, and she's walking really slowly. She drives and stops. And it's fine. And we see the Pennzoil scout, who had been looking at her through binoculars earlier when she crashed and looked very disapproving, now sees her. And he's like, oh, me likey.
Me likey.
And then that night in the trailer...
They're eating food?
They're eating food.
Oh, yes.
In either the second or third best scene of the movie because
Randy's involved.
it's any scene that Randy is in. And there's one clearly very best scene.
Yes.
But they're having... It seems like kind of like a barbecue supper. You got some potato salad. Hey, pass the potato salad.
And you pan up to Randy. He's up
Randy
in like a
does
loft.
not get to sit at the table with the family.
He's like up in like a...
He's in the loft bed that some campers have.
Yeah.
And, oh, Randy, you and your potato salad. So he gets that.
And while this is happening, like he's cutting into the family's conversation. They're talking, they're chitting and chatting. I don't even remember what their conversation was.
Well, they were saying probably serious stuff about her injury.
Yes, but you just hear Randy, pass the potato salad. Hey, the beans.
Give me some of them baked beans, Bush's secret recipe. And, that goes up. And then he says,
final thing.
We fucked up. We don't know what he says at the end, but the family
they all
laughs
laugh.
at him.
Everybody laughs at Randy.
Which is understandable, because Randy's the best.
Yeah.
But then the sponsor scout stops by. Because I didn't realize until this moment, this was all the same day. It's the race, she crashes, she goes to the hospital, she comes back, she practices, and then they have dinner, and then the scout comes talks to them. And it's all a single day.
That. What the
Which
heck?
is crazy that the parents would be like,
hey, you
I
can
don't
get back
know
out
if we
there.
should let you race again. And I thought like that would be crazy even like the next day, but for the same day.
If she was really on oxygen, like what?
Yeah. So the scout says, I'm impressed that you crashed, but then you got up riskily and raced again. So that's why you're getting the sponsorship.
Wow.
And this is where she says, well, there's one condition. My little boy, Randy, he got to get a little taste. Nope. She says, I want my sister to also be sponsored.
Courtney.
So Erica did probably the first nice thing.
Yeah. So this is her redemption. It came early.
What do you do when you got a sponsorship? What happened to Brink in Brink?
Brinkman.
You get on the X-Blads, you immediately have a photo shoot.
That's true.
So the sisters have a photo shoot, and it's the closest we get to a hat trying on montage.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of, outfit, montage.
Erica's a little stiff. She's the photographer, very creepy looking.
Yes, he makes some creepy
long
comments.
curly hair and a goatee.
He's weird.
And he's, anybody who photographs kids, say that's all the school portrait people.
But Courtney is having a lot of fun with her photos. She's doing goofy stuff, dancing around.
She's very goofy, but we're supposed to take that as cool.
Yes.
But she's not very cool.
Dorky.
She's almost like doing like the walk like an Egyptian dance.
She did do that.
Okay.
I think she did do that.
She's learning some of
And the
Randy's
photographer's
moves.
like, yes, baby, yes, girl, work it,
Slay
work
it,
it.
queen, which is what Brie Larson stands probably would say if they watched that
Slay.
scene. So that was fun. So then we get a race montage. The sisters are doing good. This is what my notes say. Sisters do good and win. Randy is there. Guitar squeals. And that's accurate.
This is probably just when he does like that high five.
He does like the windmill high five.
Goes
with
underneath,
dad.
and then he does like a yee, like a backwards running man.
He's
very cool.
Courtney is supposed to be the cool one. And Randy's the actual cool.
The goat.
Then the sisters have an autograph signing where they get asked if they have any boyfriends.
Yes, and no.
Nope, they don't. Then we see
a little girl though. Like
fuck that.
It was a fun, cute scene. Little girl's like, I want to be like you.
I want Santa to give me a driving license.
I want to be like you when I grew up. And then she gives him a hug, and then she's like, "Aw." It was like a real. It seemed like a real like, "Aw," but whatever.
I feel nothing.
I know.
And I felt nothing when we saw Erica take her driver's test.
That was fun.
A huge truck.
Really big pickup truck.
I don't know. We never saw this. This was the first time we see this truck, and it's got like, I don't know the proper mechanical term, but it's like the raised up wheels.
Yes.
It looks like something somebody drives when they have a very small
like
penis.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hey, I'm not saying anything about Stone Cold's rattlesnake.
Oh, no.
So she does amazing.
Like, she's going fast.
Test.
Like, for whatever reason, he stopped watching her. I never had no stopwatch on me when I did my test.
A driving instructor to say, I'm going to time you to see how long this takes, because at least for her, she's not doing a road test in this scene. She's just going around like an obstacle
cones and
course.
Stuff, yeah, in the parking lot.
That seems
she's
like
going fast.
Unnecessary pressure.
She's doing like crazy like brake turns and stuff.
And
she's
the guy's
doing, like,
flying around in there.
And he's like gonna vomit, but he's like into it. He's like, yeah. He's like awkwardly into it.
You'd think if he'd like have a toupee and it's like half falling off at the end. So then at the end, he's like,
fun.
that was great. I take it you've done this before. But really, has she? Because drag racing, you just drive in a straight line. Yeah. This bitch crashed just the other scene before.
That's true.
It doesn't add up that she's driven before.
That wasn't her fault.
Also, this brings into question, how is Junior drag racing okay? Those cars go pretty fast and those kids are pretty young.
Well, that's what I was wondering, though. I bet that these cars can't reach the full speed of the ones with
that makes sense.
With the parachutes.
But she still got airlifted out.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, clearly it didn't matter because she was racing in like 30 minutes later.
Yeah. So whatever, she's got her driver's license, and what are you going to do when you drive? You got to go to the cool kid event, and the cool kids are all going to the skating rink. But, oh no, I got to have a date, her friend's talking about who I'm going to bring, and she's like, oh, I don't know who I'll bring. Erica, that is. And then we see Todd. Oh, stop. I can't ask Todd.
She's very
Todd,
shy.
Come over here. Oh, stop. It's coming.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Todd.
That was a good impersonation.
But then Todd gets drawn away
by the popular girls. Yes. Sad.
So when
she's not really hurt about it, but she makes a comment.
I mean, I'd be nervous around Todd too.
Oh, he's kind of good looking.
But if you don't have Todd, who are you going to go with?
Well, she makes a comment. She's like, I really want to go with somebody that I really like. Cut right to Randy knocking on the door of their house.
I mean, I think that's a good replacement for Todd.
Yes, 100%.
So Randy, there's a comment where this was probably very relatable for
us?
Jacob and I, especially Jacob now, where she's like, hey, Randy, when are you going to get your driver's license? So he's at least 16 years old.
Yeah.
And he says, why do I need it when I've got you? Which doesn't completely add up since she just got her driver's license.
And then cut to the license plate that says, this is not my boyfriend's truck.
So the relatable part about that is, I didn't get my driver's license until I was 21 because we had friends who drove us around. Jacob, you didn't get yours until...
I don't remember how old I was.
Later than 21.
I still don't drive.
And Jacob refuses to drive.
Yes.
Back when we actually did stuff. Pre-COVID. But even still not that much pre-COVID because I got tired of driving Jacob around.
Yeah.
I said, I will only get you when we need to record the podcast. When we go to trivia nights or whatever, you have to get your own way there. And I thought that'd be motivation for Jacob and Josh.
Malfoy.
Motivation for him to drive. And it wasn't.
No.
So let's publicly shame him on our podcast now. That's obviously going to work. So they get to the skating rink, and they enter the skating rink in a way that I am not familiar with.
The first scene, we don't even see them get into it. They're just like climbing out of it.
There is an ice rink taxi.
Yes.
It's labeled a taxi. You would think maybe it's a Zamboni, but the wheels don't really make it look like a Zamboni.
It's weird. And there's a weird person wearing a weird hat driving
that they strategically don't have him be in full frame. Randy and her get out.
Randy and Eric.
Randy immediately falls down. Oh, Randy. But Erica doesn't really seem to skate that well either. Todd kind of comes over, but he is just like, hey, Erica, how's it going? And Todd, I'll say, he looks like he's in like a boy band. He's got tan skin, bright white teeth, got like maybe frosted tips, might as well have like a puka shell necklace on.
Jeez.
If I was Randy, I would feel very much threatened.
Intimidated, very.
And Randy kind of does. But they have a good time. They kind of fall and laugh about how we're better on wheels than blades.
Yes.
And then afterwards, they have to help Todd fix his car.
Yeah, or I think it was one of the girls' vehicles. Because they're
Todd's driving it because he's the man.
Todd wasn't the one that asked her. So it's the popular girls that always give her shit and tease her or whatever.
Being a racer.
Yes.
Now her being a gearhead comes in handy.
And the one doesn't want to ask her, but her friend's like, just do it, just ask her. So they ask her, hey, can you help us out, Erica? And then she helps them, and then they just they're like, yeah, thank you, and then they just
don't. They invite her to the after party at Todd's house.
They do, yeah. They invite her to the after party.
We're all going to Todd.
Todd was the one that invited them, not the girls, right?
Well, then they say, yeah, come with us.
Yeah. So, they're
Which
cool
I thought was a weird ADR line because Erica turns to look at Randy at that point.
Yeah.
And it looked like she was telling Randy, yeah, come with us. And I was like, bitch, weren't you going to bring Randy? You going to friend zone him that hard? Yes, the next scene, she does. Because Randy says, well, this was kind of cool. Do you ever think we could do this for real? And she's like, What?
You're like my brother.
You mean like date? You? Randy?
That'd be like fucking my brother.
So yeah, she kind of maybe doesn't friend zone him, but
she friend zones
I guess brother
him.
zone and friend zone is kind of
the same thing. He's shot down, and you can tell he's hurt,
recover.
but he doesn't. He never.
We don't see him with a girl at the end of this movie.
No, it's so sad.
And we don't see his real life picture either.
No,
so we don't even know if Randy's a real person.
He might not even be real. He's probably not. He's too good.
He's too good to be real.
He's too good to be real.
We in this world, especially in 2020, we do not deserve Randy to be real.
That's a fact.
So then, yeah, they kind of just part ways.
Yeah.
And then we get some extremely unnecessary French class drama because, oh my God, Erica's getting a B.
In her French class, which is the only class she takes.
How can I get an A? Well, you'll have to ace the final.
And,
oh, no.
And we see her earlier in the movie playing on her device, which is kind of like a foreshadowing. Oh, she's not paying attention in this class. Maybe that could cause issues.
A B is not bad.
No, it's not bad.
This is just some arbitrary rule her parents have set up I guess she needs straight A's to
I also don't remember that rule being set in the movie at all.
I don't think it's ever brought up until they need drama.
Yes. So, yeah, she has the B, but it's only a progress report.
Everything she's involved in, there's always some drama. There's, like, misogyny drama.
Yeah. Sister drama.
French class drama.
Yeah.
And then...
Randy drama.
No, minimal Randy drama.
Yes.
Randy's not... He's not dramatic.
He's cool. He's a cool
pretty
guy.
down to earth.
He's a cool guy.
So then she finds Todd as her French practice partner. Who I guess he's in a different French class.
French kiss
but
practice
they're
partner.
Like really like touching each other's face to like name the body parts.
They go through the whole body, like the entire anatomy.
And I don't know the French words.
The buttocks
like,
and...
For Spanish, it'd be like boca, and they're like touching his mouth. I'm like, settle the fuck down. And they're laughing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they
do say French is the language of love.
Ooh.
Even when you're talking about your ojos.
Your boca, or whatever you said.
And then Todd asks her on a date, and she's like, no, I can't do anything this weekend. How about next weekend? No. And it's because she's racing. She doesn't really say that. She just says she's busy, so Todd thinks she's blowing
him off. Not.
And I would not blow him.
And he just wants to get blowed, like.
He doesn't need to work too hard for that to happen.
Oh, my.
He's Todd.
Last name. He's a cool guy, though. Like, he's not like a prick like a lot of the other,
he's not a Cody.
Yeah.
He's not a Jordy Knoxley or whatever.
What?
He's just
Johnny
Todd.
Knoxville?
He's just Todd. That's his credited
Todd.
name.
What is that from? That's from like a movie. Just Todd.
You were thinking of Just Harry. Well,
just Todd. Maybe I am. That was a good reference.
Speaking of which, we forgot the other source of drama is that, she still plays volleyball. And wouldn't you know it, the finals are this Saturday.
Oh.
The big game is this Saturday.
Big game. Ooh.
But she's got a race on Friday, but she'll still be able to make it back. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she doesn't.
Oh, the car breaks down.
The camper breaks down, which you would think them being very
You would think the goat would be able to fix
oriented.
I mean, she fixed that truck in the parking lot. Why can't she fix a damn trailer?
So she arrives just as the game has ended.
It's literally just ended. Like
Todd is there in attendance. He's disappointed. He walks out as she's coming in.
I don't even think he's disappointed. He says like, "Oh, hey, Erica."
Well,
like,
he looks pretty disappointed.
And like, there's a shot when they lose the game of all like the boyfriends or all the guys from school just looking pissed. They're absolutely pissed. They don't even wait for the girls. They don't wait for the girls. They just leave. So all the guys are leaving while she's coming in, and then the team comes out.
The team streams out,
and
they all say, "Fuck you, Erica."
They're all scowling at her, and then the coach is like, I expected better from you, Erica.
And almost the only bit
she's like kind of like laughing, and she's like, sorry, guys. Like, the trailer broke down. Shit.
Well, yeah, she's trying to play it off.
Yeah.
Really, one of the only things we see her do in volleyball is crash into the cart and hurt her arm. So how pivotal, I can't say pivotal of a role. I'll just edit all of that out.
That's fine. I think we should keep it in.
Well, now I have to keep it in because I said I was going to edit it out.
Yes.
So the only pivotal...
How important is her role to the team?
Because it seems that she maybe didn't even play volleyball before this year because they make fun of her for not playing a real sport.
We do see, like, scenes where she's spiking it and doing some stuff. But, like, for the whole team to be, like, to put the whole blame all on her, like, they never set her up to be this, like,
that's why they only wanted her on the team so they could blame her.
Yeah, they never set her up to be the greatest player ever, but she's the reason that they lost. And there was, like, 10 girls. And, like, I think only, like, 6 are on the court or whatever at a time. So, like, what is her role?
Are they doing rally scoring? How are they rotating for the serve? Is this going to be on the gym test?
It sure won't be on the French.
We get some weird thing where her friend gives her the old final for French because the teacher uses the same final.
She's like, I got this from my sister, and it says key on it. So where did they get the key? It literally says key. It's not like her sister's old test. It just says key slid in. It's like hidden,
and her friend rolls up in with a guy
nice car.
in sunglasses and
she's like, here,
red convertible.
She's like, here, just keep this on the DL. My sister.
Then she's conflicted about whether she should cheat
or not.
But she tears up the key
at home
and then puts away all of her racing trophies and says she's done.
She gives up with racing because she failed, or she got a B in
And
French.
we checked the time here, and this was basically 1 hour into this 90-minute movie. So this is like very right on the money, third act drama of like, she gives up the sport.
Just gives it up.
God. Dad's not mad, though.
No,
he'll support her, whatever she does. But he does think she had talent for being
But
a driver.
you know he's in, and we don't even see it, but like, we
this
just
is the
know
most
he's
understanding,
pissed.
chill dad moment where the rest of the time he's all like, Mom, she should race. I don't care if she dies. She's good.
Like, we know he's pissed, because this is his sport. This is what he grew up doing.
But now that she's quit racing, she can the weekends off.
With Toddy.
So she goes and asks him on a date. And he's like, what changed? Well, I quit racing, so I got all this time.
And he's pissed about that.
He said, bitch, you tripping?
Yeah. Like, he's pissed. He's like, why'd you do that? And she's like...
he's so like, okay, I'll call you later.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Todd is down...
to clown.
To frown.
Oh.
At her not racing.
Oh, yes. That's true.
So then, hey, remember Courtney? She's a very minor character.
Yeah, she happens, you know, and that's
so we've maybe forgotten like a scene or two that she's in, but she's really not been a character in the large parts of this movie.
Accurate.
So she goes to a race with Randy and Dad, but then Mom has to stay behind. Yeah. Because Erica is a 16-year-old who can drive, can't be home alone. But honestly, the mom should be like, I'm going to go hang out with Randy. So like, fuck you, Erica.
Oh, that would have been a fun scene.
Her high-fiving Randy.
A high five. My wife.
So at some point, Courtney makes a comment to Erica that she quit because she was worried that she was going to lose to Courtney. And
yes, and that heats her up. She gets
little
fired
bit, but she kind of just is like, whatever.
I'm trying to think of what the turning point was.
Well, she gets an A on her French final.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's immediately out of retirement.
Yes, no, exactly. That's exactly what it was. And she does a weird squeal in French class, and she stands up, and everybody's laughing at her, and then she gets embarrassed, and then she squeals again, and then, so she took all of her trophies out of her room, and now the next scene, she's carrying them through the front door.
So to have a third act drama for a 90-minute movie and still have like a fourth or fifth act, you kind of have to have it be resolved within 5 minutes.
It was resolved in like 2 seconds.
2 scenes.
Yeah.
So then there's at the finals, or I don't know, a qualifier, some race, there's a really contrived reason for the two sisters to race against each other. Because she's like, Erica, I want to practice, commissioner.
Oh, yes.
Commissioner.
Yes, because she raced so well in her first time, she won, that she got a good time where she gets a bye.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to beat somebody else. So she missed out on an opportunity to race. So she's like, oh, I want the practice. So then she's like,
hey, we can't just spare the practice for one person.
And then her sister's like,
I'll race her.
And then she's like pissed though. Like she doesn't want to race against her sister.
So we get the forgotten for most of the movie, the sister rivalry.
Yes.
So they do one race. Courtney wins.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And the whole race, like, and we had talked about it a little bit. Like, they're looking over at each other, looking back, and like they were looking back and forth, like, for like a minute. This thing goes by in 9 seconds.
This is anime time extended out, where 5 minutes in Dragon Ball Z lasts
like
30 episodes.
It's almost like Erica can hear Courtney say what does she say, like bye-bye or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like she can hear it.
She's looking away, taking one hand off the steering wheel to
waving
say,
bye-bye, and then she just like shoots forward.
So she wins. Courtney tells Erica, hey, you just got to loosen up. So then they do another race. Erica wins.
And then she asks her sister, oh, did you take it easy on me? And then Courtney's like, never, no. And then she's like, and then Erica squeals again. So she's very happy.
And then, they don't have a third match. They just leave it 1v1.
It's tied. That's better.
Here I have my note. Drag race is very not exciting to watch. Or at least how it's presented in this movie. You can see a way where they would still be stretching the time, but seeing them shift gears, sweat on the brow kind of stuff.
Like the only reason,
and we don't get that.
Like the only, just like
bye-bye.
Just like NASCAR, like the only kind of reason you'd maybe want to watch it, it's maybe not a good reason, but just to see people crash. It's kind of...
Jacob is a bit, at least a casual NASCAR fan. So.
It's entertaining, but I mean, it's scary and it's obviously dangerous when, 200 mile an hour.
Most people watching NASCAR are not likely doing it sober. Especially not in attendance.
Yeah.
There's the whole...
That's fair.
What do they call the center area where everybody just lives?
I don't know, the infield?
Where all
the campers and stuff?
I thought I don't know, it had a...
The splash zone.
It's called the demilitarized zone.
Oh,
no man's zone.
Yeah.
So then it's the lead up to the national race, ? I believe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Where she's going to be facing off against Jordy.
Yes, her rival that's not a rival.
Who I wasn't sure if it was going to even come back. But somebody else who has been ever present is Todd. Who stops by to give her a big teddy bear and wish her luck and say that he'll be watching her 10 seconds of race footage on live television.
With everybody, all the friends.
I'm bringing the bros over.
They have 20 people over there for that party.
We're going to dude out hard for those 10 seconds.
Oh, no.
So here's my note. Remember Jordy and misogyny in drag racing? Well, it's back.
It's back.
Erica wins a race. And that's cool. But then, taking a page from Miracle in Lane 2, Jordy's dad and manager.
Yes, freak out. They say, oh, there's no way she's had 6 perfect starts in a row. There's no way. You got to be cheating. And then he explains this whole device they can put on the car that would make it go.
I wonder if that's real.
I mean, it's got to be.
I wonder if it was real in 2003.
It's got to be. They who's going to come up with that? That's got to be a real thing.
It's the magic of Disney. Where they thought he had installed... Because they say, you're the computer whiz, Erica's dad. And it's okay, that has not been shown in this movie. But that, to make it clear, they were accusing there of being light-sensitive sensors that would detect when the light goes green to then immediately start the engine.
Car,
because that's what it comes down to. At least this movie's presentation of drag racing
It's all about the start time. It's all about that reaction time.
We don't see them shifting gears or anything.
No, because, I mean, they play with that. She plays with that thing in French class. She plays with it at home. That's a key focus. It's literally all about timing.
So that's why this seems especially uninteresting as a sport in this movie. Not, hey, dragsters out there, don't at me. Because I usually don't tweet anything anyways. So they dismantle her car, postpone the race, and they find nothing, so they call this a protest. The protest is dismissed.
Yeah, but I mean, they're really ripping the car apart. It goes into
Randy's hanging around them. He's just sweating, oh my god.
Yeah, it goes
what are they doing to my girl?
Goes well into the night, and then it goes into the morning, and then we see Randot sleeping in the car. He's stuck.
Well, actually, when they give the decision, we get the line. I don't know if it's on IMDb trivia, but they should quote it of Jordy's dad says, "What do you got in that car?" And he says, "A teenage girl."
A teenage girl.
Hashtag feminism. Get beat. Patriarchy.
Jordy's dad is pissed at the I don't know, the Grand Marshal.
Commissioner.
The commissioner. He's like, I'm gonna get you for this. And then the commissioner says something like, "I like to see you try."
Well, he said, "I'm gonna go above your head." And he's like, "Well, I like to see you try."
Yeah,
I'm the god.
It was funny.
I'm Commissioner Dwayne.
I like that.
So yes, we get
Dwayne with a U.
Well, first we get the little sister speech of, I don't know, I didn't write it down. I said, who cares? It's the big race. We gotta get to the big race. But before we get there, we got a little bit of a speed bump in Randy. Because he was working on that car in a very unusual way that he fell asleep inside of it because he was working.
And he's stuck. He's stuck inside this car.
Well, because that's the thing is, I feel like with some of these cars, maybe Formula One cars, the drivers go in, and then like the hatch like
comes down.
Get like
See,
put over
and I
them.
think when she crashed, like they had to like cut her out.
Yeah.
They cut her out of the car.
So what I'm saying is we don't see him get out of this car.
No, like
so we don't know how he got in, and we don't see him get out.
They fade away from him, like pushing really hard to get out, and then he just like sighs and just falls back into it.
And we see him like congratulating them at the end, but that's kind of like the last bit of Randy we get.
That's too bad.
It's a good moment. Man, it's still like bottom 2 Randy.
Was
scenes,
there?
though.
I mean, like we see Todd celebrate, but is that the only other Todd moment?
I certainly don't care.
Like both the guys disappear, like both of the interests, if you will.
Yeah.
Kind of they just don't exist anymore.
So Erica's at the starting line, and she's very nervous, and we're getting all sorts of voices she's hearing in her head.
Well, she's hearing voices from the
Past
dad
lines
of
in
the
the
other
movie.
guy. Oh,
Like,
yeah, that
Girls
too.
can't race. Oh, relax. Yeah. Oh, red light.
Yeah, and she
so
goes.
She gets a false start.
She gets a false start because she hears the opponent's dad or something, and then she goes, but she doesn't go.
So she yells out, I didn't red light.
Yes.
But we've never had it explained what these rules are, so she's saying stuff that doesn't even make sense
So
to us.
kind of like just like a false start. And they highlighted the light itself, and the light hadn't turned on yet.
Yeah, so like,
had that light turned on, then that would be I would guess.
Contextually, we can put it together.
Yes.
But for this to be like, oh, she's so nervous and something happens, she's had 5 perfect starts. We've never seen this even brought up. It just felt so awkward.
Yeah, they do this. They've done this before.
Because they've delved so little into the actual mechanics of drag racing.
Yeah.
But whatever. She gets a good start. She wins. There's a little back and forth, which, again, these races are 9 seconds long, so how much back and forth can there be?
True.
Jordy congratulates her, though, and says he'd like to race her again.
Yes.
She gets the trophy, the one that she admired as a child.
Yeah.
Courtney comes up and celebrates with her. And that's the end of the movie. No Randy. We get the little details we've already brought up about...
she went on to win 40 races, or has already won 40 races.
I think Erica is actually still an active racer.
No, wow.
Yeah, I believe that's what I saw on her
Well,
Wikipedia.
yeah, and they're not... Did you look up how old she is now?
She is, I think, 37 or 39. Okay. So I believe in IMDb it says that the actual sisters were the drivers in this movie.
You said the stunt drivers.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Yeah, that's cool. They were able to...
Makes sense that they're of approximate age.
Well, I mean, in that way, they can get the full story. So in the details, they say
that Erica is at college at the time of the release of this movie.
Most of the times, too, when these movies are made, they're based on... Or the true stories are made, they're based on books. But this wasn't based on a book. They must have just...
Double Teamed wasn't based on a book either.
Wasn't it?
No.
Okay. Color of Friendship maybe was? Maybe not.
When they're based on a real life story, there's not usually a book written about. I mean, who would have written a book about fucking Double Team?
Why not?
That was questionable as a Disney Channel original movie. Why that existed?
That was a good movie.
It was, but when you read into the details of what happened, it's
yeah.
Why these two? Because they were twins and girls?
Because you had connections to them?
And then they kind of falsified the ending, which is more a condemnation of women's basketball in America taking so long to happen and not their ability that they just played in international women's leagues.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, the details at the end of this movie, Erica, as I said, I think is still a racer at this time. She was racing in college. We see a picture of them. They both have won a bunch of junior drag race
They look
titles.
very similar.
They are sisters, but not twins.
Not
that is
twins.
Double Teamed. That was, I almost said that was Drag Race.
That
was Ready. Nope. Right on Track.
Right on Track.
Kind of a forgettable title. I think
kind of a forgettable movie.
Yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, I will not remember very much of this movie.
No.
I'm already
Todd. No, not Todd. Randy.
You know what? Actually,
maybe Todd.
I feel like Randy even might be lost to...
That's kind of sad.
Tears in the Rain.
Oh,
It'll just be lost to time. Because I don't even remember that much about Double Teamed, and I kind of like that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already talked about how there's just a lot of tropes shoved into this movie. And it's really just kind of unfocused, where we have these really dramatic scenes where she's talking about how much racing means to her early on in the movie. But for a lot of this movie, we don't have any direction. It even kind of feels like it could be a book. I mean, hey, based on a true story. True life isn't always that interesting. But, like, it could have been a show or a book because it's like, this is the section of the movie about the sisters. This is the section about volleyball. This is the section about French. And these things just came up in a row and then got resolved. But then the things that probably would have been more impactful, like the sister relationship, the kind of more misogyny in drag racing, maybe actually giving more time to understand how drag racing works. Those are there, but they're all kind of equal in importance to all of the other stuff. So it just really makes you feel like, where is this movie going? You assume you know where it's going to end, which is a big race, because that's how these always end, is in, it's the big game. Yeah. So then it's just kind of, it's kind of flat a lot of the time.
I agree.
It was cool or potentially exciting for Brie Larson to be in it, but she's hardly in it.
Hardly, yeah.
Why isn't Randy in a Marvel movie?
Like, see, and
answer that, Disney.
Sometimes, like, we'll come into movies, or when we come to record, like, we'll really either rave about one, or we'll really, like, just talk mad shit. Like, this isn't one I'm not talking, it's not like, it wasn't, it was just lame.
We have plenty of these.
It wasn't,
it's not horrible. It's not great. It's not necessarily like a fun, good, bad watch like Ring of Endless Light or anything like that. Yeah. It's just, I would try to name some off the top of my head that this would be in the same ballpark as, but those probably have fallen into my memory.
Yeah, exactly. Like this will.
You can check my letterboxed rating at fat_tomato to see wherever I decide to put this one.
This will be real low.
I don't know. It'll be by like Alley Cat Strike.
Oh, that was a better one. Oh, stop.
Are you saying this is better or worse than those ones?
This is definitely worse than those. Those were good. That's quality.
Well, Jacob can make his own tier list sometime.
That's quality right there.
I'd say Randy alone maybe makes me like this more than Alley Cat Strike.
Jesus.
And this is definitely better than Jenny Project.
Oh my God.
But if you want to tell us how good or bad the Jenny Project, that pillar, that pinnacle of Disney Channel original movies, Jacob, maybe I've said before, I like the Jenny Project maybe marginally more than some movies because it's shorter by like 10 minutes than some of them. But if you want to tell us,
Jenny likes apple.
I don't even fucking remember, man.
Oh man.
I take the notes, I edit the podcast, but I still...
You're just digging on Dunstan's favorite movie of all time.
I guess so.
Alley Cat Strike. He'll be back on here in a couple episodes.
COVID, me and Jacob aren't following COVID precautions, but we won't necessarily
we're 6 feet apart.
Subject Dustin unnecessarily.
But,
What I was going to say, write us at awholenewpod@gmail.com.
Oh, say, and speaking of next episodes, we have the Even Stevens movie, which
is over 90 minutes long, so already making Jenny Project look pretty tasty.
And I feel like this is maybe one of, I don't know if there were any really like kind of like hyped up movies, but like, I mean, the Even Stevens, like the show was like that was like a big deal. Like that was like a cornerstone, I think, in the Disney Channel. So like,
well, we're going to run into a situation with Even Stevens, like the Jet Jackson movie, where it is, because of that weird episode rule, the show just ends, and then they make a movie. Yeah. So there was probably frothing excitement for new Even Stevens. Yeah. So then we get this movie.
I kind of remember that, too.
And I think it's one of those, the characters from the show go to a tropical getaway place.
100%.
So, I'm not too excited.
It's going to be good. You're going to love it. You are going to love it.
I feel like it's going to be a weird entry point where the Jet Jackson movie surprisingly worked okay as its own thing, where I don't think the Even Stevens movie is. With that being said,
I hope it holds up to my memory of it.
Stay dialed in to A Whole New Pod. So subscribe and rate, review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Play, whatever it's called, Stitcher. Follow us on Spotify, and then subscribe, like, and comment all of our stuff on YouTube. No really big standout comments. Hey, if you comment on a video, I might respond. Yeah. Like if you say that I have edited in me talking twice into this episode, which I think that person probably only listened to that one episode because it's kind of crazy to think how much we talk over each other.
You're having a
and how that
conversation
doesn't
with
sound
yourself.
good that we talk over each other. And then I would purposefully do that.
That's like an idea. Like, that's a good idea for like a podcast.
No, that is horrible. That you have to do it 2 times?
No, but I mean to like kind of like have a podcast, maybe you like change your voice so it sounds like you're a different person.
But you're still recording something twice.
Yeah. But
so that'd be like us talking about... I would have had to talk about Cadet Kelly for like a total of 3 hours.
That would be the gimmick of the pod. Like, that'd be fun. That's a fun idea.
And then Sam comes into the mix, so then how do you explain that?
Oh, no.
But one of the comments on our recent video was asking us about if we were going to review certain things. Specifically, there's a lot of excitement for newer DCOMs like Zombies, and I'm right there with you. Telejohn maybe isn't, but I'm rip-raring ready to go for Zombies and Zombies 2. Something very exciting and is going to create a challenge, I think, for me, is that in the 2021 slate of Disney Channel original movies has been announced, and there is a remake of the granddaddy of them all, the original, Under Wraps.
Oh, shit.
Like,
the first ever.
Yeah. So they've announced some of the actors, mostly kids. I don't really know who it is.
I wonder if any of them will make an appearance.
I think Gilbert probably committed suicide.
Oh, no. Mickey Rooney. Different movie.
To show where my mind is, it's like, I don't care about the kids. I assume the one adult they've cast is probably the Mummy, but I want to know who's playing Mr. Kubat. Where's Kubat? So
that's cool.
That is very cool.
So I wonder if they'll start doing more.
Hopefully not, but that would be Disney Channel's MO to remake old.
That's what I wonder. Why Under Wraps? Just because maybe it was the first ever, and they're just like, here's an homage.
Well, it's not on fucking Disney Plus.
Is it like a 15-year anniversary? No, it's not like
came out in '97,
so it's not like a special year or anything.
No, it's like the
24
year anniversary or something. So that's going to be weird because I think for the sanctity of this podcast,
it's going to be we
can't review it at release, and we probably shouldn't watch it. So we won't watch it for years.
What? Why?
We can't taint our first impressions, except for the times when I watched the movie a couple of days early and then watch it again. I don't know. We'll see.
My memory's for shit. I don't remember watching Under Wraps.
I mean, it would be amazing if that was the last Disney Channel movie they ever made. So
my God.
We could bookend it like that, but we won't be so fortunate. We'll end with the remake of fucking Halloween Town High.
Yeah.
Or something.
Smart House.
So
Smarter House. Let's go.
Yeah, very exciting stuff on the horizon. Way down beyond. And if you care about Even Stevens, that is coming up. And then after that, I believe, is Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, which is the one Dunstan has said, fucking
needs to be here
for that cook-off.
Yeah, he's here.
Dunstan, big fan of the Food Channel, so I think,
that's
what he's all about.
Fieri.
All right, so with that being said,
stay frothy.
This episode hasn't been too long, but my stomach is a growling.
Rumbling and a grumbling.
So we're going to end it here, and Jacob?
Lucas?
I don't know. I'm too hungry.
I'm kind of hungry too.
Good evening, I'm Ken Bastida. Dana is off tonight. He was murdered and then set on fire while celebrating his birthday.